Hello everybody, Mario Llano here for RITennisAcademy.com, and today we're going to learn the one-handed topspin backhand. The first thing we have to learn is the grip. Without the right grip, you can't execute the proper technique. As a point of reference, we're going to use the continental grip, or shaking hands with the racket grip, where the V of your hand is on this line of the grip. We're going to move the V of our hand a little bit to the left, to the next line, and that will be a good grip to use for your topspin backhand. Next, of course, is the split step. Split step is the little jump you take right before the opponent hits the ball. As you land the split step, your leg muscles will take you right where the ball was hit. Right after you land the split step and you realize the ball is coming to your backhand, you're going to start to turn and leave the racket on this position. Don't use your arms. Just the turn will take the racket back about 50% of what you need without you having to move your arms. At the same time you turn, you have to step with your right leg. Sometimes, instead of a step, you take a little shuffle, but at the same time you take the shuffle or a step, you need to turn. Both things happen at the same time. Of course, distance is still very important. As you take that first step, you're going to start to realize how far the ball comes and start to take some adjustment steps so you don't end up too close, jammed up, and make an unforced error. After the first step, you're going to try to find yourself looking at the ball that is coming over your right shoulder. You're going to take another step, putting you on a close stand position. That's what we're going to try to do. Hit the backhand, the topspin backhand, on a close stand position. Now, there are several ways of taking the racket back. You can take it down, but now, since we're going to turn and keep the racket in the ready position we had at the beginning, we're taking the racket head and starting up. That is to start a circular motion, not a big circle, but sort of a circular motion, so you can continue that motion to get under the ball when it's time to hit. As you take the second step and you're looking at the ball over your right shoulder, this is the position your racket should be before you hit the ball. At this point, the racket is going to start to move forward in that circular motion we started, so continue that circular motion so you can get under the ball. It is important to remember that even though I'm giving you a step-by-step motion in these videos, you need to do a fluid motion without any stops. So once you start, finish the motion. A very common mistake is that you don't get under the ball before you hit the ball. So make sure that when you are in this part of the motion, don't forget to go way down. Remember, you have to get under the ball so the ball goes up. You have to brush up on the ball. The only way you're going to be able to do this is if you get under the ball. So when the racket is here, make sure you complete that circular motion so you're under the ball. Keep in mind when you're trying to get under the ball following circular motion, right before you hit the ball, that your wrist cannot be locked or tight. It needs to be very relaxed. So where you make contact with the ball is very important. You don't want to be reaching to the side. You don't want to be reaching in here. You want to be in front. Look at the arm coming straight out of me. It's about 135 degrees. This is 180. This is 90, 135 degrees in front of you. That's where you make contact with the ball. In the one-handed topspin back, two very important sources of power. The first one is the turn. When you turn and looking at the ball over your right shoulder and you turn to the ball, that's the first one. The second one are the legs. When you load up and go up, that also gives you a lot of power. A key element on this swing is, of course, to look at the ball. You want to keep your head down as you're hitting the ball about a half a second after you hit the ball. We see Federer doing it all the time, and most players do it, but he exaggerates it. And maybe that is why he's #1 in the world. So you got under the ball and now you're hitting the ball. Continue the motion upwards and stay sideways as you do it. Don't turn as you're hitting the ball. You have to stay sideways. The same time as you stay sideways, the left arm goes backwards. So they go in opposite directions. The left arm going backwards will help you stay sideways. Make sure the left arm doesn't show here when you're hitting the backhand. It has to show back here. Very important. So now you follow through. At the end of your follow through, you want to create an angle of about 100 degrees between your body and the arm. Now when you hit the ball, you have two choices. One, you can keep your wrists, you come under the ball, keep your wrists firm through that motion and finish up here. And the other one is you can snap a little and finish in the same place. The racket at the end is a little bit different. In the first choice, which is the wrist firm, the racket kind of finishes here. In the second one, the racket finishes here. You're gonna see both ends. Spaniards, most of the time, they go like this a lot. But if you see Federer, he finishes like this. So you're hitting the ball, going to the follow through, left arm is going back, this one is going forward, and when you're about to finish the follow through and staying sideways, now this leg here is gonna come forward, and now you can turn forward, not before that. Now you can start the recovering state. And that is the one-handed backhand. Remember, I just told you a lot of things. Take one at a time, work on it, and move on to the next one. For Rhode Island Tennis Academy, I'm Mario Llano. You can do it.